I'm on a quest to find music and art. Supporting local talent is the place I start. Yeah, this is our culture, the place to be. Games, books, arts, and crafts and jewelry. This the Guardians of the Geekery. 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 And now for today's episode of Guardians of the Geekery with your hosts, Matt, Carol, and Joey.
Hey, Geekery Market edition of the podcast today. Geekery Market, once again, 2026. It's going to be Saturday, November 21st, 10 to 4. That is the Saturday before Thanksgiving, so just a little bit later this year, but I think even a better time because we'll have Jedi Santa. We'll have all the shopping, of course, and tons of activities for the kids. And we're happy once again, to be at the Cabarrus Arena and Event Center. Fantastic. Plenty of parking, over 3,000 parking spaces, and it's not a parking deck. It's just a huge lot. So, and it may seem weird, like, oh, parking's not a big deal. Well, as you know, in the Charlotte area, it can be a very, very big deal, $25 plus to park for a little bit. We do have a $10 parking for the event. So just like in the old days, just pack up your families in that thing because it's a flat $10. However many people you can shove in there, be safe, but let's do it. Let's have these big caravans and get on out here so you have more money to spend on the free Geekery Market. That's right, free. Now, we do encourage everybody to please donate to the Second Harvest Food Bank. And, we were at an event yesterday at Charlotte Comic-Con. And I think a lot of times we default to canned goods, but it is a non-perishable food item. So Joey found some really cool prop type of items like that. So it's we'll have a full list for you, but because I know cans are heavy, and if you don't have cans, that's okay. There's lots of other stuff you can help out. A lot of people still have food insecurity, and so anyway, yeah, we appreciate everybody coming. And once again, free event. We're really looking forward to it. And the return of Samantha Bryant. Oh my goodness. Hello. Woohoo. Welcome back.
You have changed your name slightly. You're not your name. You're still Samantha Bryant.
I was like, nobody told me. Wait a second.
But you go under your business name is a little bit different now. So if people are looking for you on the vendor list, they need to look for Dangerous When Bored, which is probably we're all a little guilty of.
Yeah. Yeah, very much so. We need buttons. We need little buttons.
Yeah. I know. Will that be a merch item? Dangerous When Bored.
I have stickers that I'll just give anybody who wants a sticker. And I now have, the little bag. If you buy my books and I give you a bag, the bag has the Dangerous When Bored on it. I don't know if I'll get it together well enough to have like t-shirts or anything available by November. Yeah, that's pretty soon.
Well,
that's going to be much.
You have to deal with sizes and all that stuff. I'm always
right. Yeah.
Pins, things that are one size fits all. Always a good idea. So. Yeah. As somebody who overbought Geek Gala t-shirts, as we were talking about before, we'd always end up with a bunch of them at the end that we were, I remember Carol and I being in a un-air-conditioned building in Asheville during the middle of a 100-degree heat storm, and we had these piles of leftover t-shirts in various sizes, and what did we watch? Some TikTok or YouTube about how to turn it.
We made bags.
Yeah, how to turn
bags,
shopping bags, no shop, and we were sitting there making them as the sweat was dripping off.
Those, if you purchase one of those bags in Nashville, it came equipped with our sweat.
Yes, you possess the DNA of Carol Cole.
Yes, yeah.
That could be
lucky you.
I mean, a fair amount of our friends are scientists or witches, and either way, that might not go well for Carol.
I smell
There's
a
a clone
sequel.
out there.
I smell
there. I
sequel.
can send her to the office, and I can stay home.
Multiplicity 2 coming to a theaterplex near you soon. Or maybe it'll go right to streaming. We don't know these days.
Yeah, probably right. My life right to streaming.
Oh, I love it.
Well, Samantha, tell us what books you're going to be bringing this year. Any new series that you've worked on or new books within your series? I know that you've expanded kind of your oeuvre since last time we spoke. So
I'm still very much a multi-genre girl, and you can still get the Menopausal Superhero series. And if you've been waiting to read it because you're one of those people who wants to make sure the whole series is done, the whole series is done now. The last book came out last year. So that one's done. And
Nice.
after that, I picked up doing Gen X romances. So here, I've got them on my little rack behind me here. There's 3 of these suckers. This one's Acid Rain. There's also one called Not Too Late and one called Ready or Not. And they all center people in their 50s finding love for the first, second, or 8th time, depending on which book.
Yeah.
And then
are these straight romance, or are these considered like romantasy?
No, these are just contemporary romance.
Cool.
No fantastical elements other than
finding love in your
love
50s.
going more smoothly than it goes in real life. And then besides that, I continue to write short horror, and I'll have 3 new anthologies at this one. I've got this one called The Shadows That We Carry. This one's not particularly themed. It was a memorial anthology for a friend who lost his cancer battle. So they're all just horror stories by people who knew and loved him. And then I've got
Beautiful full cover, by the way. Yeah,
isn't that one nice?
I love that. Yeah.
I can't claim any credit. All I did was send a story. And then I've got another one that's sapphic horror called It Ends With Her. I don't think I've got that one right here by me, but it has a gorgeous cover. And another one called Threads of Obsession. So those are my 3 new ones.
Oh.
And there might be one more, but I haven't heard the timing. I'm in an anthology through Falstaff called Disruptive Intent, which I love the title. It's another menopausal superhero short story in that one, but I haven't heard what the actual release date will be yet.
Ooh,
awesome.
So many books.
So if people are like, I can't believe the menopausal series is over, there is a short story.
There is a short story. And it was funny because I was like, yay, I'm finished. I can write something else. And then I was immediately asked for a story.
They keep pulling you back in, Samantha.
Right. Well,
and that's when we hear about Samantha being trapped in a cabin with a man who says, "No, you can't let this series." I got you paper and a typewriter.
I'll wear my boots just in case.
Just in case, yeah. Those strong ankle boots.
I'm your number 1 fan.
Oh no.
Not creepy at all.
No.
She's gotta fight the cock-a-doodle crime.
Oh goodness.
I'll stick with the fans who give me an unexpected pretty rock. Those are good fans.
Yes, those are the good fans. Those are the good fans.
As long as they don't throw it.
Right. Give me, not pelt me with. This is not Shirley Jackson. Yes.
Oh, love it.
So when
did you get?
Go ahead.
When did you get started in writing? Were you always a writer, or was this something like in your adulthood you said, I'm going to sit down and write a book?
So always a writer in terms of always writing, like starting when I was like 6 years old. I had a little side business in elementary school writing poems for Mother's Day for other people's moms. You could pay me with candy. It was great. But as far as like taking it seriously enough to finish things on timetables and see things through a publication process, I didn't start doing that until I was 42. So at this point, okay, how old am I? 13 years. I had to do math there.
That's the big problem, is finishing the project. Or starting it's easy, finishing it is hard.
Oh yeah, I'd started so many things, but actually finishing them, and then whether you're self-publishing or traditional publishing, it's a process that you have to get through, additional to the process of making the book. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's almost a secondary.
Transition from a writer to an author is when you actually finish the process and then go through the publishing. Because
then you become a business person.
yes,
right. You got to
Yeah.
sell it. That's the tough part because I'm terrible at selling things.
Well, nice thing
realize I'm
is,
rather
you know,
dark.
at events like yours, everybody came in there wanting to spend money. So if I can just be reasonably personable, which if I have caffeine, I can do. Right?
Yep. That's the necessary ingredient.
Yes.
Yeah, reasonably personable and reasonably priced
Yes.
and
Both of those
reasonably
things.
prepared for a market. Those are
Right.
like those would be three cornerstones, right? Like
Yeah.
have product, have personality, have caffeine.
Yes.
And we will provide the people
Yeah.
Excellent.
because
It's a
Sure.
deal. I'll be there.
What was the first selling event you ever attended? And how did that go for you? What did you learn from it that you didn't realize?
So I think the very first thing I ever did was a Tomicon in South Carolina. Like the year that my first novel came out, which was 2015. I got accepted there as a guest. And you know, when you're a gal who has one book, you know,
yeah.
you're just like, yay, someone wants me. And I had a wonderful time. I was super nervous because I was going in not really knowing anybody. And that's the way my introversion tends to run is the more people in the room that I already know and am comfortable with, the more comfortable I am and the less likely I am to get nervous or upset or stressed out. So I was super stressed out because it was, you know, going to another state to an event I'd never been to with people I'd never met to be on panels and try to sell my book. And I honestly have no memory of how the sales went. When I think about that event, I remember being on the panels and making my first writer friends who were like professional people with published books. You know, I had like critique partner friends, but not professional author friends. And, you know, a lot of those people are still in my life today. So it's, you know, I think it was a really great start.
Yeah. Was there anything that you learned that you didn't realize or anything that, like a tip you could pass on to other baby writers? Yeah.
I think the main thing I learned was the necessity of having brief descriptions of your work on hand. Because I was definitely that gal who was just telling you the whole book, you know, if you came up. It's like,
why
do they need to read it now?
In
You already
chapter
told
6.
them. Yeah. And so, you know, you need like the very short version that's just to get someone's attention and make them want to pick it up. And then being comfortable with the silence for a moment while they look at the back. Don't talk to them while they're trying to read the back of the book and decide if they're interested. Wait for them to look up or ask a question or something. So I think over the years, I've gotten much better at managing all of that. But yeah, that first one, I'm sure I was so excited and telling everybody every detail.
There's that awkwardness between when do I talk? When do I stop talking?
Mm-hmm.
When do I just listen? And then how do I get somebody who's talking to me but clearly not going to buy to move along?
Yes.
Right. Yeah. And that it is tricky because, you know, most of the time the people walking up to your table to buy something are not people that you know. So
Right.
you have no idea what their approach is.
You've got to read them really quickly. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my hiccup because I can't sell crap. I can't sell anything. I'm terrible.
So when we finally get some of your work out there, Carol, what you need to do is share a table with somebody like Darren Kennedy, pure
there you
extrovert.
go.
Just, you know, get adopted by an extrovert and share a table for your first thing.
That's what I will definitely have to do.
That's how we became friends, actually. She knew all
Yeah.
this stuff, and I'd talk about it whether I knew about it or not. So,
See, yeah, maybe you can just get Joey to sit with you and
yeah, well, because she used to promote Con Carolinas when I was promoting Charlotte Geeks, and we became table buddies that way. Because
I was totally not promoting a darn thing because I was very much like, if you don't want to go, it's okay.
Yeah.
Right.
You can, if you don't want to pick up a postcard, it's okay.
Yeah, such salesmanship.
Yeah.
Reverse psychology. Yeah.
There we go. See?
So Carol was
Yeah.
always, but I'd be like, "What is that costume?" And she's like, "Oh, it's Kira from episode 25 of
It's like,
Akita."
oh, it's this anime. It's that
And I'm
anime.
like, "A great Akita costume, yes," you know. And then, and then once they would start talking, Carol would warm up because she really, I mean, we pick on it, but you are comfortable. It's
Once
that
I'm comfortable,
it's
but
start. It's the start. Once you get
it's
past
the
the
it's the
initial
getting. Yeah.
hellos, she'll jump in and have opinions and stuff like that. But yeah, I knew nothing. But I'd be like, well, since you're already here, here's a card about Carly Geek. Here's a card about Con Carolina. But yeah, so but Carol's an excellent writer, and you've written some things. It's just you've not
I haven't I mean, other than a
you've done
couple of
stories.
submissions that I've gotten like rejection letters on. Yeah, I haven't really tried
Mhm.
publishing anything. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's writing is one thing and publishing is another
Publishing is a
thing.
completely different animal.
It's
Yeah.
like buying the stuff for a craft and then
And
crafting.
then
Two different
doing the craft.
hobbies.
Yeah.
Two
Yeah.
different hobbies. So I
Buying the books
buy
and
all the
reading the
things.
books.
Yes. So if you were to pitch to somebody like Matt, who maybe is not planning to go through menopause,
It would be a surprise.
not unprecedented in your series, though, however.
Right. So, generally when I'm pitching to men, I emphasize that these are superhero stories for adults. In writing it, I wanted to see what it would be like to give superpowers to somebody with a fully developed prefrontal lobe and perhaps a mortgage, perhaps a job and a partner, a need to be in the car rider's line at 3:30, just to give them real adult parameters of life while they're dealing with this incredible change in their abilities and what to do with it. And so I think men can relate to that as much as women.
Oh,
And it's good for y'all to learn a little bit about menopause.
Yeah.
for our own safety, really. Yeah.
Yes, honestly, yeah. The more you know, as G.I. Joe said.
Nice. Yeah, going back to what you were saying, you get really excited, especially at first, and you pitch the whole story or the whole book, and just that exciting and just first getting out there. But it's like yeah, you could almost like sometimes set up a tape recorder some of the pitches I hear, and that's your audiobook
Yes.
almost because it's like this is the abridged version anyway, but
Cliff
it's
Notes
so
version. Here we go.
yeah.
The whole thing.
But and I even did it with smaller format things. I used to write comic books, and I need to get back to that. But they're shorter stories, and until you put out quite a bit, then you start getting your collection going. But those early stages of just reading people and trying to figure out what they're interested in, and also like Joey had mentioned, just knowing when to shut up and let somebody just absorb and take in what they're seeing. And I think it's really challenging today, just because we're all on our devices and we can look up anything, and it's like we don't necessarily have those quiet moments, but I think those are so important when you sell. And even at a Comic-Con yesterday, I just saw people leaving too much space, and then the person would walk away, and they're trying to pitch to them as they're walking away, and I was like, no, it's too late, my friend. It's that moment's passed. But yeah, timing is everything, and I think from what I've seen, you do a good job with that. And
Well, thank you.
some of our
I
other
try.
publishing, yeah, definitely. So,
Yeah,
but yeah,
it's hard to be supportive of somebody who's like, "Oh, I didn't sell anything," and I'm like, "Well, you were only at the table for like 5 minutes out of every hour
Yeah.
because you'd be off going to the bathroom, searching for the Wi-Fi password, like
Yeah.
talking to people across the hall, and you were never. And when you were at your table, you had your head down in your you know writing
yeah,
or drawing
In
or
your own
whatever
little
you were
world.
doing,
Yeah.
and not paying attention. And it's like there has to be that happy median between
yeah,
buy my stuff right now and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you do
And
you need to look like you're not going to bite somebody's head off if they come up and talk to you, right? You need to
Yeah.
look receptive, I guess would be the word. Yeah.
yeah,
and
approachable without being intimidating, like
Right.
And
So,
I think some people, when they do have a lot of things, like we saw it the other day, it's like this person had this huge stack, probably like 5 feet high, of their books displayed, and they had it angled, but that was only good as if you're approaching from this way. If you're coming this way, you couldn't even see the person because that mountain
They're behind it.
of
Yeah.
books
Yes, yeah.
blocked them. And I don't think they realized that, because they were, straight on, you could see them. And from this angle, you could see them. But from this angle, completely shielded. So it looked like an abandoned table. So people aren't going to necessarily like cross the way and do that. But
Yeah.
yeah, there's just so many things to think of that
Yeah, my
until you
friend
do it, it's so
James
tough.
Maxey, another writer out of Hillsboro, where
Mhm.
I am, is
Uh-huh.
like that. He has so many books that if he just, because he's been writing for, I don't know, 30 years,
Wow.
something.
Yeah.
And if he sets them all up, it is a wall. So
Yeah.
he just doesn't stand behind his table. He stands next to it or
Good,
in
good.
front of it, depending on what the space is, and engages with people that way. Because even
Yeah.
though he's like 6 foot tall, he would still be hidden behind that wall of
Yeah.
books. Yeah.
Yeah.
well, and I actually like the carousel that you have behind you for your books in the
Yeah.
picture, because there's something about, as the buyer, being able to turn and look at things as opposed to a stagnant wall of, or a static wall of images, that you get to be more interactive with it and still have everything displayed, but it gives a different option where, sometimes it's just this.
Yeah, I've got a short one that I bring for some events, and I tend to put the superheroes in that one because it's a comic book rack, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so that fits the vibe. Yeah.
No, I think that's
But
amazing.
I have to either get another comic book rack or stop putting my books in a rack, because last time I wrote a book, there was no hole to put it in. That thing
Oh
is
no.
full. Yeah.
That's a good thing to have. That's a
Yes, it's
good problem to
exciting.
have, though. That's a very
Yeah.
good problem to have.
Yeah, we were talking with Stuart Jaffe, and he was talking about how he had to kind of decide which books he was not going to bring to events anymore, that they were far enough in the past, or genre specific enough that it just, people could go online and buy copies if they wanted, but and that's a different type of thing, because there's like, um I know there was a series that I read as a kid. I don't even know if you remember the shoe series. Like, it was by a British author named Noelle Stratfield, and she had a series like called Circus Shoes and Ballet Shoes, and
Huh.
and
Oh,
um
okay.
and it what
Never
it
heard of this.
was that you got to see the life of a child whose family was in a circus, or a life of a child who was good at ballet, and became very good at ballet, or different things. So it's like walking a mile in their shoes.
Oh,
But
that's a great
so
concept.
it was a
Yeah.
Yeah.
great concept. But I became obsessed with her because, me, I'm either 0 or 100. I'm not in between. And actually found out that she had written some series back in World War II that were not available in America because they were, out of print. And so you had to, like, and this was the days where you could not just go online and order it. You had to, like,
You
It
had to
was
go
a
find
thing.
it.
Yeah.
go
You had
to
to
a
get a
book.
bookstore to order it for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a couple times the bookstore's like, "Hey, we called our publisher and they said they had it," and then when we put the order in, they said sorry. But it took a while, but that was kind of like, when I finally got my hands on it, it was like, okay, now I've succeeded. I've got this book that,
You
you can't just walk into any store and get. And so I think there is that kind of thing that, oh, I'm going to read all of Stuart Jaffe's books, and even the ones that are older. I'm going to read all of Samantha Bryant's books, and and be able to do that seek and find that really kind of gives you some options. So I think that's kind of a
Oh
cool
yeah.
thing as well. When you have so many titles that you have to pick and choose which one do you bring.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
For an event I did yesterday, I take a kind of a shorter standing book rack, and I usually put the horror in that. And I decided I was only going to take as much horror as would fit in it. So so
Oh,
I'm in like 30 anthologies, but I picked nine.
Yeah.
oh wow. Wow.
Dang.
Yeah. I
That's
have a mild
amazing.
addiction to writing for anthologies. Could be worse, right? There are worse things to be addicted to.
Yes,
Well, and
absolutely.
that's a
Particularly if
great
you're an
way
author.
for people to learn about you, to be able to find you other places, right? So
Well, not just for marketing. I actually just love writing for anthologies. It kind of, it's like that good student wants her gold star thing in me. It's like you gave me an assignment and then I get to decide what to do with it. And I want mine to be the shiny one, the one that you like the best out of what all the other kids wrote on this.
And how long have you been feeling that way, Samantha?
Always.
Do you think it was your mother, your father who had that influence on you?
I'm going to blame my grandma for that one.
Hey, grandmas are the best because they're one step removed, so you hear them differently than you hear your own parents, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, what other things? So you've got the gen romance, you've got the horror, you've got the super menopausal, you've got stickers, which we love. We are sticker people. And what other things are you planning to do between now and the market, that where are places that we could possibly go and see you, check you out, and find out more?
So I've got quite a few events between now and November. I guess because some of my work is horror, I'm usually very busy in October.
Yes. Imagine that. Imagine that.
So there's if on my website, dangerouswhenbored.com, there's a section called events where I put all the details about where all I'm going to be. I'm sticking mostly pretty close to home. So I'm in kind of central triangle area of North Carolina, and I tend to stick within a 2-hour radius of that for most of my events. So if you're in that area, you can probably find me somewhere near you in the next couple of months. And then writing wise, I'm working on a gothic romance that I've been working on and off for 3 years, as I had to keep putting it down to meet deadlines on other things. But I think I get a span where I get to just finish the sucker. So I'm hoping to get that finished and maybe out in early 2027. And I've got a trunk novel that I'm sending off to Lucy Blue to have a look at and let me know if she thinks there's any there. At the time when I wrote it, it was one of those deeply personal projects, and so I couldn't take critique about it properly. But now it's been a decade or more since I wrote it. I'm a little more distant from it, and I think I'm ready to have somebody look at it and see if that's something ready to put out in the world. Oh, and then while I went to, my husband went to a Gen Con workshop on game design because he's working on designing his first game. And I went as the support chick and, like dropping him off and picking him up and making sure he ate and all that kind of stuff. And so while I was in Indianapolis, not doing Gen Con this time, I do sometimes, but this time I did not. I did some research trips for there's a historical fiction trilogy in my future. It's historical fiction, so I think that's a few years. If you've ever tried to write it, the research is pretty intense.
Yeah.
But I got to do some research about Indianapolis that'll feed the second book in that trilogy, and I was super excited about that.
That's amazing.
They have a great historical society. If you're ever in Indianapolis for Gen Con or not, you should go to that museum.
When I went to Indiana, I stayed in this B&B that had been a restaurant, that had been a winery, that was then turned briefly into a spa. And it was a fabulous looking building. Now where I stayed was down in the spa area, so it did not fit. Like they had modernized it too much. It wasn't the right format. And but they had a restaurant, but it was closed. And they had a winery, but it was closed. And they don't tell you that. And then when you go to the front desk, you're like, hey, where can I was DoorDash and all that stuff was still very, very new. And I was like, okay, I'm not from around here. Where could I order food? I'm a single girl traveling. So I'm like, where could I order food in and stuff and everything like that. But I ended up writing up a review about that. This is my one Indianapolis story. And I wrote up a Yelp review just saying, hey, here's some things you need to know if you're going to stay here. Like, there's not a restaurant. They do serve you breakfast, but there's not, like, you have to plan your meals otherwise and stuff like that. And, just a couple of things that I thought they could have done better. one of the things was the bathrooms were not in the room that you were staying in. It was a shared communal bathroom. So you'd have to
Oh,
walk down
wow.
the hall. I
That's
was
good to
not
know in
really,
advance.
yeah,
Yeah.
that would be something. There were other, if you stayed in the other building, that was different. But in this part of the building, you needed to know because it wasn't on there. And
Yeah, it's one thing if like you and your friend are sharing because you rented the rooms next to each other. It's
Oh,
another thing if that's a stranger.
yeah,
Yeah. It's just,
yeah. It was like a
who
hallway
knows
bathroom, and
hairs
so
around
you'd
the
have to like make sure
counter.
the doors were locked and make sure you didn't forget anything, that you had brought a robe with you because, modern day we don't always bring robes like you would in the 50s and 60s and all
Mhm.
that kind of stuff. So anyway, uh the owner of that place said, I know this is not a real review. I know this is so and so with business across the street that is like trying to ruin my business. And like, I was like, if you look, I've been a member for like 10 years and you can see I had like 8 other reviews. Like, clearly I didn't ghost this up or whatever, but it was so
Yeah.
funny. So,
Oh,
but I enjoyed my time in Indianapolis. It was very cool driving around. It's very, very interesting historical places there. So, Indiana in general,
yeah,
just
it's not a place that has preserved as much of its history. Like a lot of the old
Yeah.
buildings, the era I'll be writing in is between World War I and World War II, and a lot of
mm,
the architecture I would have wanted to look at has been knocked down. So all
Yeah.
I can do is learn about what it was. I can't actually go see it. But they have been good at preserving in that academic sense with like, you can tell that there's a good university culture there with lots of historians making sure things get documented and are searchable. The research librarian at the historical society was amazing.
that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
good.
If you were going to go research someplace, Carol, where would you want to research for a book?
Um, I mean, if we're going anywhere, I'd probably go to Iceland.
Ooh, Iceland's
Really?
on my list too. Yeah.
Yeah. That's like, and then maybe slow boat it over to Scotland on my way back. But actually, I don't do boats, so I'd have to fly. But Iceland is first on my list of places I want to go see and look at and research.
And I always remember Iceland's where it's green and Greenland's where it's icy. So
Hmm. Yeah,
my one,
they
my
did that so people wouldn't want Iceland.
Matt, if you were to
Oh,
research a place for a book, where would you want to research?
I've I'm I just melt now with any kind of heat whatsoever, but I've always wanted to go to Egypt and just to
Mm.
explore and also the culture of Egypt too, not just the pyramids and stuff. That I used to have a really long it was decades, but where I was just really fascinated with Egyptology. But the culture too that I learned from some of the books just fascinated me too. And my dad used to when he traveled for work, he got the Middle East, and then he also got to go to Egypt and things like this. And he'd bring home like coloring books and of like the region and stuff. And you just got a different, you get kind of a different like pop culture from a different culture, and I just thought it was all fascinating, and there's so many customs and everything. And but yeah, so I would love to go there and stay for quite a while. I would just need cooling vests and probably a lot of blocks of ice I would be purchasing. So, yeah,
Long
yeah,
visit where you only do one thing during the coolest part of the day. Yeah.
exactly.
There
Yeah,
you go.
yeah.
Exactly.
6 a.m. to 6:15 a.m. is my jam. Where I have to
Yeah. No, I
How
think
about you, Joey? You got someplace you'd go?
um so I really would like to do one of those Viking cruises where you're unlike Carol on a boat, where it's a
Yeah.
flat boat though, so that you're actually, at water level and be able to cruise down there. I think with the changes in my accessibility of being able to like where I would have wanted to do castles and different things like that, knowing that it's somewhat limited, but to be able to, for me right now, Matt and I've talked about doing like a Canadian train ride where you get to see
yeah,
the countryside because we love, going for drives together, but the hardest part is whoever's driving can't do the looking around. So
Right.
Yeah.
Train's a
for
good sub.
yeah,
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
No,
train
but
or a
neither of
boat
you are
where
driving.
we where neither of us have to drive, and we can both, just look and enjoy and not have to worry about accessibility, because once you're in the seat, you're there, so I think that's kind of where I'd love to do that. But I was really big. I was really, really blonde as a child. And so like the Netherlands, Holland, Amsterdam, all that kind of more type of ancestry was always part of that I was fascinated in, that I wanted to go and be around all the tulips and the windmills and the wooden shoes and all that kind of stuff. So realizing that was, back then, and not what I would see now, but, just kind of that kind of ancestry would be something I'd love to explore. So.
Okay, so Geekery Market people, I need you to buy all of my books because I now have 3 more trips I need to take.
Exactly. Exactly. And if you want to find out what she would write about, you have to come up to her table and talk about it. She's only going to give you a short little snippet, not the whole story. So
I promise.
So make sure to drop by geekerymarket.com. You can find all the links for Samantha's site, or you can go directly to Dangerous When Bored and see where she's going to be. If you're not able to make it to the Geekery Market, which we hope you are, make sure you stop by one of the other events that she's at and meet her. And buy her books. Or if you can't do that, just buy her books. Just buy her books.
Just buy her books.
Please. Yeah.
Really.
So whether and whatever the genre, whatever your stage in life, you're gonna find something interesting that you can read about. So Samantha, thank you as always for coming on the podcast. And we cannot wait to see you in November, if not before then. But thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was an episode of Guardians of the Geekery. Thank you for listening. Check us out at guardiansofthegeekery.com and stay tuned for more content.